one, and we can start mine. That's 2 microphones. Plum, plum, plum.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ayo. Let's do it.
If you didn't know what that was a syncing sound. So, syncing our microphone, syncing with everything like this. All right, so we are back again with another PWG's Chat and Chill. I'm officially making this a series, and with me, I've got Kevin Medina.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Well, can't hear you, but...
No, they can't respond to you because this
Well,
is...
the comments.
The comment section's down below. Oh, so Kevin, he's from the US of A, of the beautiful city of Los Angeles, and if you have seen my vlogs before, he is the best host on the West Coast. And that is actually what we're going to talk about today, being host for other freestylers, the freestyle community in general, and why it's so beautiful, and why we have this community, and, you know, stuff like that. So,
Let's do it.
let's start with telling a little bit about yourself before we get, you know, into...
Well, I've been freestyling for about 5 years now. I love it. I live in LA, and I've been to only 2 Super Bowls, a few USA championships, North American championships, and I've gone to different world tours, which is now called Masters.
Mm-hmm. You were with me in Japan.
Yes.
We were chilling, eating ramen for a full week. And I've been at your house 3 times.
3 times.
I stayed, for the first time, I stayed at your house for 2 nights. Second time for 2 weeks. And the third time for about 10 days-ish.
Yeah, just about.
Right. And the thing is here, and this is what we're going to talk about today, is that Kevin just opened up his arms and his home to me, a person that he never met before. So the first time we ever met was when I came with 2 suitcases and like, yo, I'm going to stay at your house. So, I mean, first of all, it's only like in small communities like this, that this will ever happen, right?
Yes.
Unless you're couch surfing and stuff like that. But this is different. This is like freestyle couch surfing. Like, why have you opened up your house so much to freestylers? Because a lot of people have stayed in your house lately, right?
Yeah, I think I've had easily over 30 freestylers stay at my house in the last 3 years. I think the coolest thing, or the benefits to why I'm able to do this and open my arms, open the doors to my house so easily, is because of the community freestyle. In general, it's beneficial that it's not super big at the moment, because you can check in with someone. Even though I've never met PW at that time, the first time he came over, easily I can ask someone else, another LA freestyler who's been in the game for much longer, could know him, or did know him, of course, and I could just ask for any other freestyler if I don't know them. Hey, is this person cool? And I would feel safe. And for the most part, I have never really met a freestyler who is not credible, or at least...
You basically get other freestylers to vouch for people you haven't met. So you got,
Exactly.
for example, like Umar or Alex to vouch for me as me being a good person, or like tidy enough to stay in your house.
Unlike couch surfing where you have this
You don't know who's gonna stay in
ambiguity.
your house.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's cool because even since from when I started freestyle in 2006, I've had people stay in my house. At the very biggest meeting that we ever had in Gantofta, we had about 22 people staying in my house.
Nice.
But I was living in a huge house. So it was different, and I was staying at my mom's house, and I basically had to vouch for my freestyle friends that they wouldn't ruin our house.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I mean, having 22 15 to 20-year-olds in a house like that is obviously a little bit problematic, but it worked out in the end. But I mean, for me, I've been reaping the benefits of being able to go to other people's houses, and I guess you have too, because now, if you didn't notice from the quote back there, we are in my gym, Nordic Wellness, in Folkets Park, Malmö, and you're staying at my house.
He's hosting me for the first time. I am the guest.
Exactly. So I'm giving back because he let me stay at his house for 3 times, 3 different occasions. Just gave me a key, like, here you go, do whatever you want. Obviously, it's not that for everyone, because now I know Kevin, but now I'm hosting him, and he's reaping the benefits of that, because you've been on a Euro trip For the past month, right?
Yeah, I've been here for about a month, and I have almost a month left. And I also did this 2 years ago, and the same thing. The cool thing is, like I just came to you, you're hosting me, and I just came from Budapest. Milchi opened his house for me, and I hosted him also a couple months ago. And so, just giving back and forth.
So I think this is something that is unique for the freestyle community, but also other communities, like for example parkour community or smaller sports like that, that if you open up your house, people are going to open up their house or their home for you as well. So it's give and take like that, and I think that's a beautiful thing in the freestyle community that I think that you're in the forefront of, because you live in a city where everyone wants to go.
Yeah.
Like it's different with me. I mean, there's not a lot of people that will like, hey, PWG, I'm coming to Malmö because I really want to see the city. There's not a lot of people that really wants to see the city like
but
that.
Everyone wants to come see you, so it's okay.
Arigatou gozaimasu. And I think that's what brings people to come here. You, for example. But the vicinity to Copenhagen, a lot of people want to see Copenhagen, so they come to me to visit Copenhagen. So they come to Sweden to leave Sweden.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you, you live in LA, everyone wants to go to LA. Obviously, you're not going to host everyone, but you have hosted a lot of people, as you said. How is it? Like, how is it for you to have people in your house and at the same time move on with your regular life, but because you have a job and you also busking?
Yes.
Tell a little bit about that, because
so my daily routine when I don't have freestylers over is I wake up, I get to work, I drive a while to get to work, and I work for about maybe 10 hours, and then I work at a skate shop in Venice Beach, if you haven't seen the vlogs. And then I busk for about 2 hours, next city over, and then after that I train. And then so sometimes I could be out from 8 in the morning till I won't get home till 2 in the morning. And so my schedule is pretty strict in the sense that I have always something to do. But when freestylers come over, of course, I try to be more flexible. I get more days off. I don't go busking, and we get to train together. So, I get to utilize that time as well. But if I have something to do where I need to work, of course, I can't just take every day off. I let them know I have to work these days. And luckily, I'll work at a really cool location, Venice Beach, so they can go spend the day there. So I'll drive them there, or I'll just tell them, you can start here, make your way there. Or if it's on the way, I could drop them off. So we work around it. We make it work.
That's basically what me and Vilo did. We joined you to Venice Beach every day. We had breakfast at Tarasco's. We had a breakfast burrito and chile with rice. And then we went to Venice to say hello to you. And then we just did anything. I mean, that's what we did for every day for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And
did you enjoy it?
I really did. I really did. Cool. And especially now, it's a beautiful day in Malmö, but yesterday was not so beautiful, and I kind of miss it every day. So I want to go back to LA, obviously, and chill at your house.
You're welcome to.
And especially when hanging out at your house, you kind of have the freedom that I need to let you work, obviously. I need to let you do your thing, because
when I have school, I forgot about that.
Oh,
when you came last time, I had school, so I had to study.
Yeah, you had to study, and even your sister had to study. You had to, help her with that. So when you have a lot of stuff to do, obviously we have a lot of free time that we're not hanging out with you, but that also makes it a little bit more free, because if I'm hosting you right now, there's maybe not so much for you to do because you're alone now. You can roam around Malmö, but how fun is that?
Yeah.
So now I took a few days off, and even Vilo, he's coming in an hour, and we both took a week off to hang out with you. So this
First off, I appreciate that.
It's a little bit different because you're only here for a week. We don't know when you're coming back to Sweden, so we're probably gonna try to show you as much as we can of Sweden. And obviously, if anyone comes to my house, like this one is a special occasion because you've hosted me so many times. But if anyone comes to my house, I'm gonna try to make my best to show them around the city. Caitlin has been to my house, Jamza and Ashi has been to my house, and a few others have been. Umar has been to my house. Yeah. So I tried to show them around a little bit, even though Malmö is not the most interesting city in the world. But I mean,
it's very beautiful though. It's got its own architecture. It's got old. It's got new. So far, I've only been here 2 days. I've seen maybe let's say half of it, and I really enjoy it. They have a bunch of artwork everywhere, and so I like Malmo. It's pretty cool.
It's okay, I guess. But like apart from the freestyle couch surfing, what do you see in the freestyle community as a positive thing? Because I mean, obviously, we all know that it's a global community where just a few people in each country are actually freestyling. Like I mean, it's not like skating where there's a huge amount of skaters in every city. It's like in Malmo we got like 4 or 5 freestylers, and in Stockholm there's like 20 freestylers, and
in all of LA, I think there's maybe 15.
Yeah.
It's growing, but 15 in LA. There's
so obviously the knowledge level, like I know most of the LA freestylers, and you have met most of the freestylers here in Malmo. But how do you see any other benefits or like good things about the freestyle community?
Well, for the most part, as I keep meeting more and more and more freestylers, and they keep popping up more and more of them, I've noticed that they all have similar personalities in the sense where they're kind, they're genuine at heart, and they just want to persevere, they want to get better. And that's such a good trait to have, because even though it could be selfish at times where I want to be better, I want to do this and I want to do this, in the end, you all have the same goal, and we all realize that. And that kind of brings us closer together just from getting to know each other, just from training with each other. You can see that, and it's something that we love, and if you both love something at the same time, you're only going to help each other.
Yeah. And I think that's why like meetings and visiting other freestylers in other countries are really important, because I don't know how much it is now, but back when I started, we used to have like every holiday, we used to have huge meetings in Helsingborg or like in Stockholm or in Gothenburg, where we gathered up and like we saved money to go to that place, and we stayed at one person's house, and then we freestyled for like 4 or 5 days. And it kind of grew the spirit of the community. And since, as you said, we share all the same passion and the same goal, and the meetings were kind of like a means to get there, together as a community. But I don't see that as much.
I think it's
anymore.
changing now.
Yeah.
I think the direction it's going toward is that there's a lot more competitions now, which is great. It's amazing. It's what we need. But now we reserve those that money, that time, that experiences for when those competitions come. So, for example, Super Bowl comes up, everyone goes. Of course, that's been the thing for the last 10 years. But now we have, let's say, the Panther Ball. I'm going to also make my way down to Mexico and use that money that I would into, let's say, if there was a meet in Chicago where it would cost me just the same money. Yes, it's people of my country who I maybe have not freestyled with, but I'm going to wait for those times where I can meet them at that time. So there's less of those meetings of trying to get to aspire to those goals that we used to have, and now it's more like, all right, this is a marker and we're all going to meet there. So it's really stressful in the beginning, but after we have that same feeling that what we did have when we first started.
So would you like, you would rather go to a competition somewhere rather than go to a meeting if the cost is the same? Well, obviously it depends on the meeting and the competition, obviously.
Of course. I mean, if the more number of people that are there, of course, I would try to go to that. Maybe if it's freestylers I haven't met, another condition could be, let's say, it's difficult. There's just so many things.
So many factors to bring into this.
And also where I live, LA's or USA is just so big. It's so far to get to somewhere else.
Well, and the thing that I miss really from back in the days is that we don't have a meeting without a competition. Nowadays, obviously, when you go to a competition, there is a meeting, like without having to force it. There is a meeting because, let's say, Panther Ball, as an example, it's not only one-day competition and then everyone goes home. Obviously, there is a meeting leading up to the competition, and then maybe a jam the day after. So
that's a really good thing we have, actually.
Get a meeting as an extra to the competition. But the thing is that same with Super Bowl, that a lot of people are quite stressed out because they want to
do well.
They want to do well in the competition, and they feel like if I train too much today, I'm gonna feel sore tomorrow, and I'm competing and blah blah blah. And you don't get the same like joy out of having a freestyle meeting as you would if there's like.
It's not a good or bad thing. It's just
it's just different.
Yeah, it would be ideal if we have, of course, a meeting beforehand to practice, get all the jitters out and everything, get to meet everyone, the meet and greet. But also, most importantly, like in the USA Champs, we had a foreign jam right after, and that was the most fun. Everyone was now, there was no more stress involved, and it was kind of like a competition going on. It's a jam, and so everyone felt obligated to go, but at the same time, there was no stress.
Yeah, and you didn't have to participate.
Exactly.
You can just chill. I participated. I mean, I didn't want to participate at first, and I was like, but there's no stress here. There's no like big prize money. If I lose, there's nothing that is not gonna happen anything. And these are all good people, and most of the people in the US, they need like battle experience and to be able to work on their sets. And I mean, battling me like an old fox that I am is obviously a good experience. I think. I did lose the final against Kasane, and fair play to him, but I don't care that I lost. It was just a good experience, and the vibe of the whole competition and the jam was amazing. And
that's what we need more of. I think that's something we don't do as often, and that would be nice to see more.
Yeah, like for example, on Saturday, we're gonna have a meeting in Helsingborg. It's gonna be you, me, Ulle, VLO, and all the southern Sweden community is coming to that meeting. So obviously in this like small region, we can gather up the people from that small region, but there's not many people coming from, you know,
far away.
And obviously some of us are coming up to that age where we can't really like spend all our money on freestyle meetings anymore. Like some people have
more responsibilities.
Job. Exactly. Like you have a full-time job, you need to pay rent, you need to pay food because you're not living at your parents' house anymore and stuff like that. So
some of us have kids. It's a whole lot of factors that go on.
I don't have kids, by the way, just for the record. So, but I have a lot of outcome. Like I need to pay a lot of stuff.
Of course.
But I do try though. Like if there is a meeting somewhere, like quite close, maybe like an hour flight or something, I try to make my way. I try to like, even I try to stay, for example, in New York, I try to stay for a couple of days just to have a few meetings.
Yeah, exactly. If we have an event or something, and then there's a few freestylers there, and we'll do the event, of course, but then we'll try to extend the stay a little bit more just so that we can have time to go see the other freestylers of that community. And
also, I think the good thing about some competitions is that they try to get the meeting after the competition. Because if you have the meeting before, that's when you get that Super Bowl jitter again. My favorite session in the world is the nighttime Tesco session the day after Super Bowl finals.
Yeah.
Too bad this year though, there was only one person there. It was Miran. Shout out to Miran for being an absolute giant. But usually there's a huge jam with like 30, 40 people at like midnight outside of Tesco. The light is terrible. The ground is not very good. Everyone's hungover and they're feeling really, really bad, but we're still kicking it, you know? There's someone who brought a speaker and everyone having that, you know, post Super Bowl vibe, and it's beautiful. That's my favorite ever training. And I try to do it every year. Depends on how I feel. So wait, the thing is I bought a mic today. I bought a mic so that Kevin could also
You can hear me?
Crisp.
Right? You guys like my voice? I kind of like my voice.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So, and also since we had some issues last time, we have here Kevin's broken phone that he got from Milchi, right?
Yeah, that's another thing about the community that's wonderful. If you're struggling.
Please tell that before my camera dies, because it can only record 23 minutes. So I need to okay, I'm gonna do that now.
Go.
Now we need to clap again. Tell the story about Milchi.
All right, so now we're back.
I don't tell the story.
All right, so look, the great thing about the community too is that everyone's so caring, and we try to help when we can. Of course, there's different factors, things that go on, but for me, what happened was, unfortunately, my phone was stolen with my credit cards in it. It happens everywhere in the world, and so I had no phone, and I'm in Europe, in a different country, and I had no phone and no way of buying a new phone at that moment. And so luckily, Loco actually was the first person to give me his phone. He gave me an Android and he said, here, you can get around now. And that was helpful. I was able to go around for a little while. And then I went to Vienna after that, then went to Budapest and met up with Milchi, and then he gave me an iPhone. So I didn't get help once, I got help twice, which was amazing. And so I'm so grateful to both of them, first off. Now the iPhone is slightly better because it is compatible with all the other things that I have. It does have an immensely broken case, as we saw. But the great thing about that is that I don't think anyone will be stealing this one.
That is a good thing, because I'm barely touching it, because you don't know what's gonna happen. But shout out to Milchi for giving you his phone.
Yeah, that was I really appreciate that.
Without this, you would have been difficult, because you had some difficulties to get here as well. Your flight was delayed, your phone died. And if you didn't have a phone, you wouldn't know how to get to Malmö, because I
flew from Spain.
You flew from Spain, you landed in Copenhagen, and you had to go across a bridge to get here. So, I mean, that's just a few examples of how people have been helping each other in the freestyle community. We've been going on for about 22 minutes. Do you have any other stories of being helped by the community in any way? Or like some story that you feel like, oh, the freestyle community is amazing?
How about when Milchi came to the US? So he came by, I had never met Milchi, and he came with Valentino, another Hungarian freestyler, and they messaged me beforehand that they were going to try and come, and I've never met them, like I said, and I asked other people in the community, hey, who are they? I had no idea who they were, and then both Alex and Umar told me that they're all amazing people and everything, and so I was like, all right, cool, so then they can come by, and so I ended up picking, they had a giant problem in the airport. Alex was supposed to pick them up, and then he had an emergency, and then they were stranded in the airport for security reasons, that they were held up and everything, and then so I wasn't even supposed to pick them up, but they called me and they're like, hey, can you pick me up? And it was totally out of my way, but I was more than happy to pick them up, and I ended up hosting them for an extra couple of days, and then they went somewhere else, and then I hosted them again. So that's just a small example where I don't mind personally helping out a freestyler, even if it hurts me a little bit, just because I know they're great people, and in the end, somehow it'll come back to me. And what do you know? It was Milchi who gave me the phone.
Yeah, I mean, karma, right?
Yeah.
The freestyle karma comes back to you.
It does. It's pretty cool.
And it's also, like, I think that you picked up Milchi and Valentino at the airport at the same time you dropped me off at the airport.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Because I was talking to Milchi, and I was like, oh, you're coming to LA. I'm in LA right now. And then we thought that we could, like, interlap?
Yeah, it was kind of like that, yeah.
We thought we could meet.
Oh, that's right. I had to drive 4 hours to get to the airport that day. And then I had to drop him off, and then I had to wait an extra couple, it was maybe like half an hour more to pick up Milchi. And then he got out of the car, and then he came in, and then we went to my house after that.
And it was so strange, because even at the same week that I was there, the first couple of days, Tobias was there as well. And for the next couple of days, when Tobias left, Damien Gavryk from Poland came as well.
Yeah.
So you had five freestylers in 2 weeks at your house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, your karma levels are through the roof.
It's starting to pay back, which I'm grateful for, because it's been a bit of a rough trip for me personally. Just little things going on, like with the cards going on, the phone, and it's just so helpful knowing that I have friends that can help me out. I'm
here to help you out.
Thank you.
So
giving me a roof over my head.
I mean, it is a roof. It is in Malmö, but yeah, we've been going for 24 minutes ish. So if you want to see longer episodes, do let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know if you have any other stories that you have from freestyle kindness or people helping each other out in the freestyle community, because I know for a fact that there's a shit ton of freestylers out there that have been helped in different ways. And
You told me one yesterday.
Oh, which one did I tell you?
About the Ucaso, and he took you to Berlin.
Oh shit, I gotta tell that one. Oh shit, I totally forgot. That was the one I was gonna tell. Okay, so we're gonna extend this one for a little bit longer. Okay, so this was in PWG 2009. This story is hilarious.
It's a good one.
So it's PWG 2009. I wasn't even supposed to go, but I was invited last minute, like a few days before the competition. So I took the boat to Schwinulce. I can't pronounce it, but I took the boat there and then took the train and then took the train and then the bus to end up in PWG and competed and everything. That's the first competition I won, by the way.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. And obviously, as a new freestyler, I was, you know, excited to meet all the other freestylers, and we were drinking a little bit after, like the after party of that competition. And I was going to Nantes in France the day after. I had a flight at like afternoon, and I was flying from Berlin. So Nam the man was also flying from Berlin, but he had to leave at like 4:30 in the morning to get to the airport, which meant that I had to wait at the airport or in Berlin for such a long time until my flight leaves. So I, like, without like any thought in my mind of geography at all, I asked Lucaso, the founder of Super Bowl, who lives in Liberec in Czech Republic. I asked him, yo, would you mind driving me to Berlin tomorrow? This is PWG, this is Berlin, this is Prague. And he was like, he was not drunk, a little bit like tipsy. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And I was like, cool, awesome, let's continue drinking. And when Nam was leaving in the morning, he asked me, I was still awake at 4 a.m. And he was like, you sure you don't want to join me to Berlin? And I was like, no, Lucaso is driving me. And I looked at Lucaso and he was like, "Way!" Like all over the place. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I should join to Berlin. I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll just take Lucaso's word for it. And he said, we're leaving, like before he told me that we were leaving at 12:30 noon. Right. So what I did is that I put my alarm clock at like 11:30 just to be sure, had breakfast, went into Lucaso's room.
You went to bed at what time?
I think like 7 or 8-ish.
Okay.
It was quite late. For me, in my case, it wasn't too much alcohol, but not much sleep. I knock on Lucaso's door. I walk inside. He's sleeping. He's almost dead. I was like, Lucaso, I was almost ashamed to ask him because
he figured it out by this time. Yeah, that's not the same direction.
And also that it was the first time I ever met Lucaso, and I was like, yo, are you ready to drive to Berlin? And he was like, yep, bags are packed already. And I was like, okay, I'm actually getting away with this, really? And then Lucaso woke up, and first of all, I was a little bit like jittered about the fact that he was going to drive, but it was fine. It was fine. And Vasek Kloda, the world champion in footbag, was joining us in the car as well, and he didn't know, and he was just like, oh, where are we going? To Berlin. He was like, oh, and then he fell asleep, and he slept for the whole ride to Berlin. So me and Maka, Lucaso, and Vasek went to Berlin. He dropped us off. I got him a Big Mac. That's all he wanted for payment for driving me 3 hours in the wrong direction to get to Berlin. And I mean, for me, that was my first encounter with like the real freestyle kindness that we got here. And at that time, I kind of like, not saying repaying him, but like after that is when he started to organize the Prague Grand Prix, which was the predecessor of Super Bowl. So I was there for the first year in 2009, which is just a couple of months after PWG, got second place. And ever since, I've been to every Super Bowl, and I've been trying to help Lucaso as much as I can with different stuff. For example, last year I was the photographer of the qualifications, and this year I brought Unisport on board to be one of the main sponsors. And like I've been helping out with a lot of stuff and just trying to give back to Lucaso what he gave me.
The first time you met?
The first time I met him, 9 years ago.
That's the freestyle karma.
Freestyle karma. I'm still giving back because there's not much I can do to repay what he did 9 years ago.
And you didn't miss your flight, right?
I didn't miss my flight. I was very close, but I did not miss my flight. It was a terrible day in general, but thank you, Lucaso, for driving me all the way. And thank you, Lucaso, for organizing Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's...
I mean...
We can never thank you enough.
No.
Almost any freestyler, ever.
I think everyone needs to pay the respect for Lucaso for what he's doing and like try to make
his job easier.
His job easier by making it like not being so
chaotic
and registering the last day and not paying in time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing. But I think we're running out 30 minutes now. So I think whatever I said to comment down below before, freestyle kindness, let me know in the comments down below. Go follow.
Good stories.
Go follow Kevin on Instagram,
Hey guys.
KevStyle23. Link is in the description. Do let me know also who you want to see in the next episode and any topic that you want to hear about. I got a few lined up in the future, but obviously I have to meet these people in order to get the right type of environment and the vibe, because I'm not doing it over the internet. So VLO might be one that I'm going to do very soon.
Yeah, he's coming. We should be here in like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, we need to wrap this thing up because we're going to pick up VLO at the train station. So see you guys next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.